Oh my goodness. I guess we're live. I'm assuming we're live. I don't know. I'm by myself. There's no telling. There's no telling what's going on. I don't know yet. I don't know if this is working. Somebody's got to message me. Tell me what's going on. Is anyone out there? Hello, hello. Is anybody out there? I need somebody to let me know that I am live, that you can see me, that you can hear me, and everything is clear. I mean, please tell me. Can you see me? Tell me, can you see me? I just need somebody, one person to say, yo, we're here. That way I know I'm not talking to myself. What is going on? Good evening. A super, super good evening, right? My Jenna won her volleyball game. The Astros won game 2. My football team is looking for a new head coach. Earth to Manuel. Hey, Erica. Good evening. Thank you. Someone is here. You can hear me. Yes. Such an awesome day today, right? I mean, wins all the way around in this household. I hope it's the same for everybody else out there watching. Lot to break down, lot to discuss, lot to cover. Listen, if you want to get in, I have a way to get you in on the show if that's what you desire. Just shoot me a comment and I'll let you know what the phone number is to call in. And you can join me. You can share opinions, share what you saw in the Astros game, share what you think about Bill O'Brien being fired. I may even dabble in little politics, considering I got called a Republican this week, which is pretty funny. That was pretty funny. I don't know, man. Politics oftentimes give people the it gives them a false sense of entitlement, and they can go on judging people based on a couple of tweets or a couple of Facebook posts, which is pretty funny to me. But anyway, let's get into it. How is everybody doing tonight? Everybody good? I hope so. So I just watched the Astros go into LA and win game 2. Right, they won game 2 of the ALDS, the American League Division Series, against the Oakland A's, who had a lot to say coming into this series. They had a lot to say, talking about, this is who they wanted. They wanted to face the Astros because they wanted to prove that now the A's were the cream of the crop in the division, and so on and so forth. Well, it's like Dusty Baker said, you have to be careful with what you wish for. Got to be careful, because they got the Astros, and the Astros have, in the first 2 games, put up 15 runs, right? That's good. Put up 15 runs. 7.5 runs per game is a pretty good average. I'll take it. You win a lot of ball games scoring 7.5 runs. I know you can't really score half a run in a real baseball game, but it averages out to 7.5 runs. So that being said, a lot of people, I hope there's not a lot of people that are surprised by what's going on, by what the Astros are doing. I hope a lot of people aren't really, I hope this isn't catching a lot of people off guard, in the sense that, oh my God, they're hitting the ball. They're putting up runs. The pitching is really, doing really well. They're playing great defense now. You don't see them kicking it all over the field, because if you've paid attention to this Astro team since 2015, and really since 2016, more so than 15, they woke us up because they made a run in the playoffs, and they lost a tough series to the Royals, and the Royals eventually go on to win the World Series that year. But if you've been paying attention since 2016, you understand that here in Houston, it never fails. April, May, the talk of the town is on sports talk radio, what is wrong with the Astros offense? It's been the same way since 2016, 2017 when they won the World Series, 2018, 2019. you had to have known that it was going to be a struggle to make the playoffs with this team and the roster and how it's made up and who they've been over the past 3 or 4 years, because the Astros, they're kind of like an old car in a sense that, it takes them 60 games to warm up. It's taken them around 50, 60, 65 games to warm up over the past 4 years. And once they hit that mark, it's almost like the entire team as a whole finds their groove. They start hitting the ball. They start playing great defense. They start getting better pitching. And right around that 60 game mark, like I would say from 60 to 90 is when they would go on their run and they create distance between them and everybody else in the division, or them and everybody else in the American League. And so coming into this season, I was really worried that they couldn't start as slow as they did the last 4 years because the season was only going to be 60 games. So they limped in, they crawled in, they limped in, and they managed to get in thanks to the new playoff formatting, which I've heard different opinions on the 16 teams as opposed to, the one playing game and how they've done it in the past and all that good stuff. I actually like it. I mean, I like it. The quick 3-game series, then you go to a 5-game series, then you go to a 7-game series, and so on and so on. I like it. I hope it sticks around. And I'm kind of hoping they shorten the season to like 162 games or 140 games or 120 games, and then have an expanded playoff. I don't know. I would have to sit down and look at the logistics of it all to really like hammer out the details on how it would change that. But I'm liking this playoff format. I like it. Because you get a team who's a fringe playoff team. And let's face it, the Astros were a fringe playoff team this year. They were under 500. They had to get help on the last day with the Dodgers beating the A's. And, so they're good enough. Yes, they're good enough to be in the playoffs, but they almost didn't play well enough to get in, which is kind of scary. But they managed to get in, and it's something that it's a brand new season, and it's more so a brand new season in baseball than pretty much any other sport. Like basketball, you roll into the playoffs, you are who you are. I mean, I think the worst thing that happened in the NBA is a team can come into the playoffs and go cold, because I think after an 82 game season, I think you are who you are at the end of that season, going into the playoffs, and it can only go bad for you as opposed to staying consistent in who you've been all season. And whereas baseball, you can most definitely catch a team that catches fire, that struggled, crawled, they were very slow to the finish line and getting into the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they catch fire. And before you know it, they're in a league championship series playing to go to the World Series. I mean, baseball's a funny game like that. There's a lot that rides on what is happening in the moment. You don't have to go back and say, well, what we did in July, we need to do that here in August and September and October. No. You are who you are when you get to the playoffs, although everything starts over. Like baseball, how important are stats to baseball, right? You look at a guy's batting average, you look at his on-base percentage, you look at his, his WAR. You got all these stats now for baseball, all these complicated stats that tell a story about a guy. And Altuve had the worst year of his career this year, and it was only a 60-game season, and that's why I go back to the Astros being a team needing more than 60 games to really get the ball going. They've hit that 60-game mark, and look, it's all coming together. They're putting runs together. They had to scratch and claw in the, I guess it would be considered the wild card round, the best 2 out of 3 against the Twins, against an offense that lit up their opponents this season. I mean, they led the league in homers, and I think they only lost 4 games out of 31 at home. I mean, they were just an awesome home team. And the Astros went in, like I said, having limped in, and just took care of business. They just proved that they were a better team. Their pitching staff went out there and did what they had to do. The bats did just enough to get enough runs across the plate to come out of that series with a little mini 2-game sweep, and that's the beauty of baseball. That's the beauty of baseball. A lot of people, now they're looking after this game two in Oakland, where you put up another 5 runs because Framber was so good and Noli was so good. Presley was still kind of nerve wracking, but he managed and did the job. What's up, Martin? My boy Martin's in the house. These 3 guys did a job today to shut down this A's offense. And I mean, I don't, there was a discussion about McCullers' start yesterday and whether or not it was a good start, whether or not it was a bad start, whether or not we can trust McCullers going forward. Listen, this A's lineup has just as much power as our Astros lineup, if not more. I mean, and yes, I consider ourselves lucky that Chapman's not in the lineup. Unfortunately for them, but it is what it is. You play who's healthy, and unfortunately for them, Chapman's not healthy. Hey, we don't have a Verlander. We don't have an Osuna. We don't have Yordan Alvarez. So anyone missing off of the roster due to injury, it is what it is, man. You're not going to get any sympathy over here. But that lineup is vastly underrated. Vastly underrated. And I think for people to expect McCullers to go out there and look like Framber did today, this guy's coming off of Tommy John. It's a weird comeback in a sense that he didn't really have a full spring training. He didn't have a full season to work out the kinks and work out the bugs coming off of Tommy John. And this is the result that we're seeing. He wasn't bad yesterday. He made a couple of mistakes. He gave up, 2 home runs. He gave up 4 runs, but hey man, if you can hold this A's offense to fewer than 5 runs, you have a very good chance of winning a baseball game. And that's exactly what they've done over these first 2 games. Today, Framber was just amazing. I keep seeing people on Twitter and some on Facebook in these chat rooms, these sports chat rooms, talking about, what Garrett Cole's doing in New York, and they're comparing his numbers to Framber's numbers. Who, Framber has better numbers. But it is amazing because we had local radio hosts here in Houston. I'm going to get to that in a second, Martin. You make a good point. I'll read that and then I'll indulge on that. I don't think people still appreciate and understand what Brent Strom can do with an average pitcher. I don't think yeah, there's a lot of fanfare. There's a lot of love for him, and we love Stromy, and Stromy's got to stay here forever, and all that good stuff from the fan base. But the reality of it is, this guy can turn, this guy is essentially Tom Brady turning no-name receivers into Pro Bowlers and Super Bowl champions in a baseball sense. That's what he's doing right now. And earlier in the year, I had to call into a certain radio show here in Houston and just calm them down. I had to talk them off of a ledge because they were talking about, well, the pitching is going to be the downfall. We don't have enough pitching. It was when the Astros were on the road, losing games late because, the bullpen would give up a run or two. All the same time, the Astros offense weren't really putting up runs, but the focus was so much on their pitching and how much they were failing at the time that, you have to kind of see past that. You kind of have to look at, okay, he's not out there, and what was killing the Astros back then was the leadoff walks. Oh, they would walk the leadoff. Somehow, some way, that guy would manage to score. I mean, that's just how leadoff walks kill you. You cannot walk a leadoff man. That's like a cardinal rule in baseball. They were doing that, and I felt like it was something that could be corrected. I felt like it was something that Brent Strom and Dusty Baker get together and figure out a way to make these young guys understand. Let's not forget, the Astros had 16 guys make their major league debut this season. I think that's right. 16 guys who came up from AA, single A, triple A, and made their major leagues debut this year because of all the injuries of the bullpen. We had a couple of, Lance went down for a little while. And that's incredible. It's incredible that they were able to coach these guys up. They were able to get them to understand how important a first strike is. They managed a way to get them to understand how important not walking that first batter of every inning is important, and how deadly that can be to what you're trying to do game plan wise. And they got it under control, man. By game 40, game 45, you stop seeing leadoff walks. You stop seeing uh prolonged innings because somebody couldn't find the strike zone, and they just really started zeroing in on the strike zone. They started pounding the strike zone, and naturally, what I was seeing, and I could be completely wrong because I was at home watching on my couch, but this is what I was watching on TV. They needed to understand that, hey, you're in the major leagues. At some point, you're gonna have to pitch the contact. You're gonna have to allow this guy to take a hack and earn his way on base. We're not giving gifts anymore. We're not giving, and I got to watch the game with Dad today, which was awesome. As when they brought in Ryan Presley, Dad started moaning and groaning, and as he should, because Presley had hit some rough spots this year. But we all need to understand that that's not his role. He's not a closer. He has to be the closer because Roberto Osuna can't close. Obviously, he's been injured all season. But this isn't what Ryan Presley signed up for. Ryan Presley's a setup guy. I commend him, and I give him all the props for taking up that role and getting on the mound and closing out games. And he was one of the guys who couldn't find the strike zone. He'd walk a leadoff man, then they'd steal a base on him, then they'd hit a ground ball to the right side. The guy moves over to third, and then sacrifice fly. That's it. Boom. The run score, use the ball game if you're on the road. So he came in, and all I said was, this guy just needs a challenge them. No need to mess around. Throw your fastball. And Semien, he fouled off 6 or 7 pitches, and then he got one that he pulled in the left field for a base hit. And at that point, you just have to tip your cap to the hitter. Hey, good job. You fought. It was a great at bat. You hit a pitch that I wanted you to hit, and you hit it for a base hit. No big deal. But then after that, he continued to challenge those guys, and he got a fly ball to center field, and he got a ground ball double play to end the game. And that's the key. Sometimes you can't expect to strike everyone out. You can't expect to be perfect on the mound. You're going to make mistakes. The important thing is you hope that they swing at a mistake that you wouldn't mind making it, and it results in a base hit like Semien's. I don't think he meant to leave that 9th pitch where he spotted. It was kind of up over the heart of the plate. But it stayed in the park. You can live with that. Stay in the park. You make one pitch, you get a fly ball to center field. You make another pitch, double play, you're out of the inning. No worries. Game over, right? And I think Strami and Dusty Baker have done a fantastic job of helping these young guys understand that. Like, contact's not a bad thing. Contact, if you're a pitcher and you have a defense as good as the one you have behind you, if you're Framber Valdez, if you're Ryan Presley, if you have Yuli, Altuve, Correa, and Bregman, you have Springer up the middle, you have a solid Josh Reddick in right, you have a goofy, at times uncoordinated looking, growing Kyle Tucker in left, Michael Brantley in left. Contact's not a bad thing. These guys can pitch the contact. They can allow their defense to work for them, and they can make hitters earn their way on base. No more free passes, man. No more free passes. And that's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference right now. And Martin says, I really think they're out playing hard to prove a point after all the nonsense in the league trying to make an example out of them. They have that mentality of, we're here, let's go. I couldn't have said any better myself, Martin. What we are finding in this Houston Astros team right now, specifically Carlos Correa, is don't start none, won't be none, basically. Don't start one, won't be none. If you don't want the horns, don't mess with the bull, or however, whatever other saying you want. Because Carlos Correa has drawn a line in the sand. He's put his toes on said line and said, if you want to challenge me, come and challenge me. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. The only thing we have in between us is air, opportunity, and space. That's it. And he is walking the walk. He is walking the walk. And I'll tell you something else. I had a conversation on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about why Altuve was struggling so bad this year. Me personally, I listened to Poppy's interview before the season started when he basically called Mike Friars a rat. And, you know, he talked about the weight that was going to be carried by the Astros players this season over what happened in 2017. And I'm here to tell you that there was not another Astros player who looked like they were carrying more weight on their shoulders due to what happened in 2017 than Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve looked miserable this season. All season long, he looked like he was playing with the guiltiest of hearts. He looked like he was playing like he absolutely understood that they needed to go out and they needed to prove that just because they perfected a long, dark secret in baseball, which is sign stealing, they were good enough to win without it. And you call me biased. I'm an Astros fan, obviously. But the whole sign stealing thing, I didn't have a problem with it. And I didn't have a problem with it, not because we know other teams did it, not because we know when they released that letter about the Yankees, it's going to be pretty embarrassing for Major League Baseball, because a lot of people, a lot of casual Joes and a lot of casual Karens, when it comes to the sport of baseball, are not going to understand. And to this right now, they do not understand that sign stealing has been happening forever. Sign stealing has been going on as long as Pine Tar on Baseballs has been going on, as long as filed fingernails for knuckleball throwers and knuckle curve throwers have been going on. Pine Tar on a bat, Pine Tar on a helmet, cork bats. Guys have been caught with cork bats, almost, it happens once or twice a decade since the beginning of baseball. And, sign stealing is just part of that. And that's just, I don't consider sign stealing cheating. I don't personally. I look at it as, football, you look at football coaches, they watch film to pick up tendencies on formations and downs and distance and what are they going to do here, what are they going to do there. They find a pattern, and then they go into the game and they use what they watched on film to their advantage. And it's no different in baseball. If you can crack a code in game live as it is going on, you have every right to use that. And I encourage it. I encourage it. I want every team, but understand that I understand that with the Astros doing it, I understand that the Dodgers could be doing it. I understand that the Rangers could be. I understand every opponent that comes into Minute Maid or every opponent we visit on the road. I say we like I play, but they're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to crack our code just as much as we're trying to crack their code. And this really has become a situation of they got really good at it. They perfected it. Not everybody used it, but the ones who did, you look at Marwin Gonzalez, career year that year. Obviously, it helped him out. I'm all for it. If you can crack the code, by all means, have at it. That's on the Astros to do what they have to do to keep the other team from cracking their code. That's on the Dodgers to do what they have to do to keep the other team from cracking the code. And it's like the evolution of baseball. Of course, it was going to get more and more difficult to protect your signals, to protect your signs. Of course, it's the evolution of the sport. Just like, now, just 20 years ago, 120 pitches was nothing. A pitcher would go out and throw 120 pitches and be back on the bump, 5 days later. You'd have a guy out of the bullpen, he would throw 4 days in a row. That's not the case anymore. Everything is so complicated. It's gotten way more sophisticated. And along with that comes a more sophisticated way of trying to steal signs. And every team has the opportunity. And we know every team has taken the opportunity. We know every team has indulged. Maybe it didn't work out as well for them. Maybe they didn't really get as good at it as the Astros did. But understand that every team did it. Every team at least tried it at least once, right? They at least tried it at least once. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with it. What I do have a problem with is uh no one understanding the Astros for some reason take 60 games to get warmed up and rolling. And when I heard the season was going to be 60 games and then a playoff format, I should have done a podcast and talked about it because I was so happy. I was like, yo, 60 games, that's right at the point where the Astros really turn it on and do damage. I mean, they do damage after 60 games. And, it's playing true now. Look at them. I mean, they won their last 4 games. When's the last time the Astros won a 4-game winning streak? I don't think they had one all season. They're on one now. And hopefully tomorrow, I would assume it's Jose Urquidy. Urquidy, my Queedy, our Queedy takes the mound, and hopefully he's as effective as Fromber was today. And we put this thing to bed. We don't mess around. We don't play with our food. We take care of business. Essentially, we take care of business. Congratulations to the Oakland Athletics for winning the division. Congratulations to those guys for they had a fantastic 60-game run. They had a fantastic 60-game run. They were great. Matt Chapman in the lineup. They had wonderful pitching. They played really good baseball. They own the Astros this year. If you remember back, I think the Astros only won 2 games, and I think it was the 2 games they played at Minute Maid. Now, granted, they played like 9 or 10 or 11 in Oakland because I guess Major League Baseball doesn't really understand scheduling, but they got like 5 times as many home games against the Astros than the Astros had against the A's, and that's okay. That's fine. Hey, you protected your turf. You protected your hometown. Now, I will give Major League Baseball props for deciding early on in making these matchups here in neutral sites. I think that was brilliant. And I'm going to say this because I believe it with all my heart. A lot of people after the series will ask, why did Major League Baseball send the Astros to Dodger Stadium? They've played really, really comfortable baseball every time they visited LA. George Springer, Carlos Correa, pitching staffs, they love playing in LA, obviously. And obviously there's a little bit more of an added motivation because of what happened in 2017 and all the trash that's been talked and everything that they've endured from the media, from other athletes in baseball, from fans. They went in and they said, okay, like I said earlier, they stood next to Carlos Correa, who toed the line and said, let's go. Let's see what you're about. Major League Baseball knew. They understood how comfortable the Astros are in Chavez Ravine. They didn't send the Astros to LA because the Astros struggle in LA. If they wanted to do that, they would have just made all the home series, and had them play in Oakland. Or they could have sent them to Colorado and played in Colorado. Here's my conspiracy theory on why they're playing in LA. Major League Baseball knows that they scapegoated the Astros on this sign stealing thing. They know it. Major League Baseball, especially Rob Manfred, understands that if that letter that is sealed in court ever gets out, what the Astros have done isn't going to be a big deal anymore, because the New York Yankee, MLB's babies, their jeweled prized possession, the New York Yankees, are hiding something. They're hiding something so terrible that the Yankees are doing everything they can in the court systems to keep that letter sealed. Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred in particular, now he has a conscience. Now he said, maybe, we didn't really expect it to go like this against the Astros, and we didn't expect, Jim Crane to fire AJ Hinch and Jeff Lunau. Like, that wasn't us, but he did it anyway. I still am under the belief that MLB said, yo, you need to get rid of those 2 guys under the table. I think Jim Crane's a puppet for Rob Manfred, but I can't prove that. That's just a theory that goes on in my head. I think they threw us a bone. I think they said, you know what? They've put up with a lot of stuff, and here they are. They made it. They put up with a lot of stuff that maybe they didn't deserve. The punishment was way too harsh. The punishment was not justifiable based on the fact that they know every team in Major League Baseball does this. If they make it to the American League Division Series, they can play in LA. They can play in LA. And what that's done is coming off the momentum of the Twin Series now. Now these guys are getting back to 2017, 2018, 2019 Astros baseball where they're smiling, they're cutting up, they're having a good time on the baseball field. They're enjoying each other's company in the dugout. Dusty Baker said he hadn't heard, Club Astros all season long. And when they clinched against the Twins, I guess the radios were turned up, the smoke machines and the light machines were going in the clubhouse. And that's what we wanted to see. The Astros are only as good as their swag. They need swag. They need the attitude. They need to be cocky. They need to be arrogant. They need to carry their emotions on their sleeve. That's when they play their best baseball. When they're loose, when they're reckless, when they're out there swinging, they're not expanding their zone. If anything is close to their strike zone, they're taking a hack. That's who the Houston Astros were in 2017. That's who they were in 2018. That's who they were in 2019. Finally, after the last 2 days, we have seen that that's who they are becoming here in 2020. And that's a dangerous thing for the rest of baseball. A dangerous thing for the rest of the Yankees. I'm not worried about the Yankees. Stanton, Judge, Glaber, all those guys. You know what? Try to hit this curveball. Because unlike Serrano, I don't think they've awoken Joe Boo. I don't think they've done whatever they needed to do to hit that curveball. Because they still can't hit the curveball. And if Tampa Bay doesn't recognize that, they could find themselves down 0-2 after tonight. I'm more worried about the Rays than I am the Yankees simply because I think the Rays have the best pitching staff in baseball behind the Astros. No, they have the best pitching staff in baseball. I like Snell, obviously Uncle Morton, Tyler Glasnow, who's on the mound tonight. They have a really, really, really stout rotation. But the Astros are getting back to who they were and how they won in the past. And it was so I think it was so shitty that in the Twin Series, they compared batting averages from 2020 of certain Astros players to their batting averages in 2017, which was such a low, man, that was so Bush League. It was low-hanging fruit. They jumped all over it. I mean, can you throw their averages up in 2018 when the investigation showed that there was no cheating? Could you show their averages and how they performed in 2019, where again the investigation revealed there was no cheating? I mean, to compare a team from 2017 to 2020 and say, "Oh my God, look at the difference." Yeah, but I mean, you're leaving out 2 whole years of baseball that they played without the shenanigans of 2017. They said, "Okay, y'all." And I mean, I look at it as saying, "Okay, y'all don't want us to steal signs anymore. That's fine. Okay, whatever. We won't steal signs anymore. We're gonna bust your ass anyway in 2018. We're gonna bust your ass anyway in 2019." And I mean, listen, a lot of people on the Houston side will say, "Well, the Red Sox won a World Series doing the same thing the Astros did." Yeah, they did, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it? Entering the fray is one Joseph Risen. You're gonna have to go turn a camera, dude. Turn that. Yeah, turn that camera. Hold on, we got a guest. Turn it towards you. Let's see. More. Oh no, wait, wrong one. Right there. Right there. Entering the fray, number 3, Joseph Jojo. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta plug you in. You're not even plugged in. No, right here is the mic. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. You can hear me, but you can't talk. Let's see. Late guest from the Nosebleeds, Mr. Joseph Razen. How are you, son?
I'm good.
You're good?
Mm-hmm.
Are you good, or are you just good?
That's the same thing.
It's the same thing?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Here he is, Jojo Palomares. How you doing, sir?
Doing good.
Now, the Astros are up 2-0,
Mhm.
right? Are they out to prove a point to the rest of baseball that they don't have to steal signs in order to win?
Right now, yes. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're probably cheating again.
You think so? You think people are still saying that?
Yeah.
Do you think they're playing at different stadiums, like they're playing at the Dodger Stadium, but they're playing the A's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they did that because baseball's like, we know no one can cheat if they play games in someone else's stadium?
I don't think so. I mean, why would they put them in Dodger Stadium if they cheated in Dodger Stadium?
Right. That's what I said.
Like,
It's a great point. Why would they go back to the scene of the crime? But we know they didn't cheat in Dodger Stadium in Game 7, right? We know that. How could they do that in another team stadium?
True.
There's no way, right? Right? I mean, come on, agree with me. Say yes. You're right.
I mean, I saw a thing where there was proof that Astros were cheating against the Yankees when they won.
When they won in New York or in Houston?
In Houston.
Oh, the Game 7?
The walk-off, yeah. And they replayed it back and they listened and there was banging.
Yeah, no doubt. We found that out. But let me ask you a question as a baseball player. If you can find out what the pitcher's fixing to throw you, are you going to use that to your advantage?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't cheat.
Why is it cheating? Oh man, obviously me and Joseph have some baseball discussing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, Nanny says hello.
Okay, hi Nanny. Hold up.
Okay, let me put it this way. If a pitcher holds his glove this way and he throws a fastball, but then he holds his glove here, and when he holds his glove here and he throws a changeup.
Okay, then I'll like tell my teammates, hey, he's throwing a changeup here and a fastball.
Right.
Here.
And okay, so that's no different than what the Astros did.
I wouldn't do like the Astros where they like banged on something. I wouldn't do that.
But you would tell them in the dugout?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, bro.
No, it's
not. It's perfectly fine in baseball. That's okay. We try to pick up those tells, right? Mm-hmm. So we know what's coming, so we can take advantage of it and be out in front or stay back and be patient, right? It's part of baseball. It's part of baseball. It will forever be a part of baseball. Teams are going to try to steal signs and pick up little tells and clues and on what's going on. It's no big deal. No big deal. So the Astros are 1 win away from knocking the A's out of the playoffs. What do you think?
We better win. Well, if we win that, what do we go to?
Next is the American League Championship Series, the series right before the World Series. And we'll play the winner of the Rays and the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Who would you rather play?
Yankees, because I know the Rays are probably not going to win.
Why? What makes you say that? I think they're winning right now, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're winning. I think they're winning right now. Last time I checked, they were winning. They were up 1-0 when I came in.
Okay, 1-0.
But it's early, right? Early in the game. Yeah. So, what did you think about this season and how they did just the 60 games because of Corona? And what did you think about the 7-inning games they played when they had double headers? Like, does that really feel like Major League Baseball when they play 7 innings?
Not really, no.
It's kind of weird, right?
I mean, why play 7 if you still do 9 in a regular game?
It's just 2 more innings, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about the extra innings rule where they put their guy on second base to start the inning? The runner.
That was weird, too.
Did you like it or don't like it?
Well, like, it's not that I don't like it. I just understand why they would probably do that. It's because, like, with what's happening, they probably don't want them longer than they usually would be in the stadium. So they would put a runner on second. to try to make the game go faster so they could get out of there quicker.
That's very interesting. But does it really? I mean, it's 2 more innings, bro. It's 6 more outs.
Well, I know, but I mean, I understand why, but still, yeah, it's kind of.
Are we just ready to get back to normal baseball?
Yeah.
Like normal
Everything.
Normal schedule, normal game, 9-inning games, extra inning rules, all that good stuff, right? So do you think there were too many playoff teams this year? Or did you like the fact that they expanded the playoffs and let more teams in?
How many more teams in? I mean, that means there's more competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we would really have to work for it.
So we shouldn't feel sorry for the Twins then, right? Because they were basically the best home team in baseball. The Astros were not. I mean, the Astros realistically, they shouldn't have even been in because they lost more games than they won, right?
Yeah.
But because they got in because of the new rule, they played the team with the best home record in baseball and beat them. Is that fair to the Twins? Or is it just the way the ball bounces? They should have played better.
I mean, I get the new rules, but in real rules, we would not have done that. You're right. So right now, I say it's fair. I mean, we did dominate them.
We did dominate.
So it's like your fault, but at the same time, it's the league's fault.
Like they should have played better.
Yeah.
It's actually Corona's fault.
True.
Because if Corona was,
it's the bat's fault.
It's the bat's fault. Going all the way back to the beginning, the bat. Oh man. Okay, well. So what's up, man? What's new? Talk to me, Goose.
About what? Baseball, school?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Baseball. I mean, we're already on that subject. So
okay. You got a tournament this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You looking forward to playing?
Yeah.
How you liking this team?
I like them. They're a fun team, and I would definitely get used to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about coaching?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you feel about Kelly coaching y'all?
Oh, I like how he expects us to know what's going on in the field.
Right.
And yeah, I was kind of mad that he thought that I was playing there for 3 years already and knew everything. But I know he's trying to push us that hard to where we know it and we don't mess up.
Yeah, he kind of sits back, right, and let y'all figure it out and let y'all communicate and do those things. I like that a lot. How do you feel about him dictating situations in the game? Like, for example, you had a sacrifice bunt last weekend that ended up scoring a run.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about seeing the bunt sign and understanding what's going on? And instead of getting to swing the bat, you had to lay the bunt down. What did you feel like?
I was fine with it. I mean, I knew that I had to get that runner in. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. Even if I don't get on base, that's still a run. And
you did a job.
I mean, we were still in a tournament. So, we kind of needed to win that game because that was the second game, right?
Yeah, that was the second game.
And we needed to win the second game to get first seed. So I was pretty happy about doing that because we actually needed to win that game.
Yeah, we did. And we went in as the 1 seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we won our first game Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we had one bad inning on the second game on Sunday in the semifinal, which ultimately cost us that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what'd you learn in that game? That when you get to that level, when you get to a semifinal, a game before a championship, you can't have a bad inning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were a really good team.
They were a good team
compared to us. I mean, we're a good team, but they could hit the ball, they could field.
They did not make a mistake, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made every play. And there's going to be games where we make every play and the other team doesn't, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were a good team, little team out of North Shore.
That first team was terrible, though. That we played first day.
Oh, the first day, yeah, they were. But unfortunately,
we played terrible. We played awful that game.
You think so?
Well, the only reason why we got on was because they were making so many errors. If you really think about it, they should have recorded at least 30 outs without us getting on base because they made that many errors.
Yeah, they did kick the ball a lot. Yeah, you're right. There's something to that. They kicked it around and
But I mean, some of us would wham the ball and get it out to where it needs to be. And we would go, but every time we hit it in the infield, like at least 10% of the time they would make an error. Or they would get the ball.
Yeah. They struggled. They
Yeah.
really struggled. And that's a team that, hopefully they work and they work and they work, and we see them again next fall, and they're better than they are now. But I think they're a new team.
Yeah, they looked like they didn't even know anything.
Yeah, like they just been put together, but that happens. That happens. But we took care of business. We took care of business second game, and then we took care of business Sunday afternoon before we got to the semifinal game. And that is, just like I said, I'll say it again, it's so important. One bad inning can cost everything. And, we kicked it around pretty good that inning. And then they made every play. So that is what it was. No big deal.
I was kind of mad, though, because, I was in left field, and, they would be hitting an outfield literally every time. And I would have to go for it every single time and throw it in. And I was so tired. And then I was like, oh, finally, when there's finally 3 outs, I can just sit on the bench, get some water, rest up. And then when I go in there, I look at the lineup, and I was like, who was last out? They're like, Braden, you're up first. I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yes, you are.
So after you did all that running in the outfield, you had to
then
immediately hit. And you got a good hit?
I mean, yeah, but they caught it. Or no.
No, that was when you hit it to center field. The base hit.
Oh, yeah. And then I had to get on base and run, which was also very fun.
It's baseball, baby.
But then Ethan came up and... Well.
So, you're back in school full time.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about it?
I mean, it's okay some parts of the day, but okay, I don't like Miss Garza. I'm gonna be honest with you. She gets very grumpy sometimes, and we come back from lunch and we don't have a restroom break until 12:15. We eat lunch at 10:25, and it only ends at 11:15. So that's...
So you have to wait. You don't go to the bathroom on the way back to class?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We should move we should add a restroom break with Miss Garza, because our next restroom break is until next class.
Can you ask her?
Well, yeah. I mean, I went to the restroom today because I had to go really, really bad. And she was like, well, you can't go during class. I'm like, I just ate lunch and drank a whole bunch of stuff. You expect me to not be able to go to the restroom after lunch? And even another student, one of my friends named Marco, he was even like, Scarza, can I use the restroom? She was like, no, y'all have to wait. I'm like,
well, maybe you bring it up and y'all talk about it, and everybody in class, y'all discuss.
I know. I was telling him, I'm like, they need to add a restroom break after lunch. And he was like, yeah.
So then go to your teacher and ask her. But
well, we can't do that because other people have schedules during that time. And there's only, let's see, 1, 2. I think there's only 2. No, yeah, I think there's only 2 restrooms
in the whole school.
In the whole school.
No, there's got to be more.
I think there's the single ones. There's 2 of those. Then the 2 big restrooms. So that's 4.
That's it. That's all. That's all the restrooms.
Yeah, that's why it's so spread out, and that's why we can't go after lunch, because so many classes are going on and on and on and on.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So and we can't go during lunch. They won't let us go during lunch, and they're like, oh, because if you get sick and we don't know who was, or if you get tested positive and we don't know who sits next to you, then we don't know who else needs to get tested. Well, guess what? We got a seating chart. I'm like, you have a seating chart. Use the seating chart.
So that's their reasoning for not letting y'all go to the bathroom during lunch?
Yes, and they even was like, okay, this is where you're going to sit for the rest of the year. And so they're like, no, we can't trace y'all. I'm like, we literally sit in the same spot every single day. So let's say I use the restroom, they would let us. I got COVID. They would know, okay, them two have to get tested because they were sitting next to him.
Are you worried about COVID?
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
You wear your mask in school.
I mean, yeah, I still do everything not to get COVID.
Right. But you're not worried about
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
it. Interesting. It's brave of you. So how is the new venture of being in band? How's that going?
Band,
Mr. Percussion.
we didn't do very well today. Today we kind of struggled. I don't know why. We just weren't on it today. But
What's today? Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Tuesday.
was fun. We're starting to strike the pad now.
Oh yeah.
A little more, yeah. Tomorrow, I mean, we're gonna strike every day this week.
That means, in case anyone's wondering, he's a percussionist now in band, so he's playing the drums, right? And y'all get to play on your. So the practice pad that you take to school is what you're hitting.
And then he also said that we might be taking home a stand. We're gonna take home like one of their stands.
What kind of stand? Like a drum stand, or
like a snare stand for our pad.
Oh, okay, I got you.
We have stands that can like adjust height and tighten to where it fits the pad. And he has like 12 and there's only 6 of us.
Oh yeah.
And so for the next 9 weeks we can just take that home and we can practice.
Cousins from Arizona saying hello.
Hello,
cousins in Arizona.
Arizona.
Delena, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So talk about School of Rock. You are
School of Rock.
Yeah, let's talk about it. You're taking private drum lessons and then you're doing a thing with the whole band, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. Private lessons though kind of go quick. I mean, it's only 30 minutes, but the group kind of hard to keep going because it's full of 9, 10, and 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
So all they want to do is just like keyboard players with just drums, and I'm over here just sitting here waiting for them to be quiet so we can play.
They're excited.
Well, I know, they're excited to play, but if they won't be quiet, they can't play.
So what songs are you all practicing?
We've practiced like 8 songs.
Yeah. So do y'all have any songs where it's like y'all can play them from start to finish yet? Yeah, really?
I mean, we can. We've just been struggling a little bit.
Right.
But School's Out, the ones I have down, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I only did a little bad because I had like really tight headphones in because the drum sets we use have holes in them, like the crashes, so it's quieter.
Yeah.
Well, the cymbals broke, so now I have like an actual one, but it's full of other people, and we have 3 drummers now.
I saw that.
So it's 3 drummers with just regular cymbals without holes, and they're like banging on them, and it sucks. Yeah.
Loud.
So I couldn't like hear when I was playing. I couldn't hear him singing because we didn't have the audio on.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't really hear anything, but I have that down, Mr. Blue Sky. I sing like a stone.
Do you really? You want to sing a little bit?
I mean, it's kind of, the lyrics are weird, dude.
What do you mean?
I can't really remember.
Just sing the chorus.
I play the chorus. But like
wait, what do you mean you play the chorus?
I don't play the chorus, my bad. It's like it's weird how the song goes. Cause it's like it's words that don't really like rhyme.
Right.
But it like kind of makes sense. And then I also play School's Out. That one's fun. We learned Heart of Glass and
Blondie?
And Jolene.
Jolene?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jolene.
I
That's
like
Dolly Parton.
That song.
It's a country song.
It's literally just
right?
It's like a pop song kind of thing.
Jolene is
Jolene.
Yeah,
Jolene.
Dolly Parton sang that like in 1974.
Really?
It's an old song, yeah. Y'all may have made it into a pop song. Y'all might be doing the Miley Cyrus version.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, that's pop.
And it's
basically the original's better.
It's literally this.
Yeah.
It's the whole song.
The whole song.
And it's so except for like some parts, it's like
where you double up or something.
And that's it. That's literally the whole song. It's so boring. And then I think there was another one, but I can't remember. Maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I think that's it.
Those are cool songs, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like that song selection. If come March y'all are able to play all those songs, I'll be very impressed.
Oh yeah, I mean, is that when like it ends?
I think that's when you'll have the show.
Show.
Yeah. So how are you liking playing the drums? Like, is it?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I can't do all this like crazy stuff yet, but me and my teacher Cameron are learning we're kind of in and out of our group songs and like technical stuff, like muscle memory and when to hit stuff and how to and what parts. And we learned this thing where it's like you get the snare and the rack floor and you like, and then you do some other it's pretty cool. I'm getting this down. And then there's a kick that pretty much equalizes the whole song. Or it's not a song, it's a technique, but it sounds so good. It's like a tribal kind of thing. And it's kind of like Avatar too.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a tribal Avatar kind of thing.
So is this something that you're going to continue to do? You're going to keep playing the drums until you're
Yeah, it's hard though because it's like boom, kick, boom, 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 kick, boom, kick. No, I'm like boom, kick, boom, 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 kick.
So you have like 3 things going on at once when
Yeah.
you're playing the drum.
But like you have to do like
It's got to be fast.
Kind of.
Okay.
So it's
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
So have you been like, do you have any interest at all at like playing any of the other instruments like the bass or the guitar or anything?
Not really. I mean, but he did say in band at school that we're going to start learning kind of the keyboard because we have to learn notes and all that.
That's the big thing in
the xylophone.
Yeah.
Yeah, our whole xylophone.
Yeah. Takes up half the room.
Yeah. You bought that, right?
Yeah. It's humongous. Like I bought it and I wish you would use it every day because I bought it.
We haven't used it yet.
I know. It's not in the curriculum until November. That's what he told me in the email. He said we're not going to use it till November, which is next month. But
I mean, yeah, but still.
I was like, well, then why do I have to have it now?
No.
Why can't I wait until November to get it? So that's interesting.
Yeah, we have our bag, and taking out the pad feels so different with the bag, cause so the pad in it, it's like kind of but like with the pad out, it feels like a feather.
Well, yeah, of course.
But I mean, there's still like books and sticks and a metronome and all that.
So have you had to use the metronome any?
We haven't had to use ours. He just uses his.
The one in the classroom?
Yeah.
Does it annoy you?
Kind of. Sometimes. It doesn't annoy me while we're playing. Sometimes it like disappears from my ears.
Oh, really?
Like I count it in my head and it's like, and it just stops, but I still hear it.
Right.
But like it's not there anymore.
Yeah, because you're focused on the music, playing them. Yeah. Well, I'm excited, man. I'm glad you like the drums. I always knew you would. Like I picture you being this big rock star in 15, 20 years on tour playing huge arenas. Your band has like the #1 song in the world, and you're like the best drummer in the world.
They said that we can like make our own band name and we could make a song if we wanted to.
Like your own song?
Like our own song.
That would be very cool.
But with us, that's the only problem.
We all are beginners. Y'all are new. Y'all are learning.
Not all of them. I mean, oh my God, the other drummer though, not the third one, the second one. Oof. He's more experienced than me, but he's not good. I mean, his like.
So but I'm pretty sure he's doing more advanced things than you are, right? Like,
no, he's doing the same thing as me in the songs. It's basically like a 1, 2, 3.
So they have all 3 drummers playing the same part.
Depends on what song it is. Like I sing Like a Stone. One of them could also sing Like a Stone. So then the other one would go on drums. And then like let's say one of the guitar players wanted to play keyboards. They would be like, "Hey, I want to play keyboards." I'd be like, "Okay, do any of the keyboards want to play like drums or sing?"
So y'all switch it up.
Yeah. We'll ask. And if like one of the keyboards isn't there one day, the guitar players will go to keyboard.
I got you. I got you.
And
Hey, what do you
then
think about the Texans firing Bill O'Brien?
what's the best word to describe something in the dictionary?
I
Like,
don't
what
know.
is the best describe word ever?
Fantastic, awesome, tremendous.
That's what the word is.
That's what the word is. Yeah, we're hearing stories that he was not a very nice man on top of being a bad football coach.
Hmm.
That like he was like mean to people.
I mean, he did trade away our best wide receiver on the team
Yeah, he did do that.
for a running back.
That is not the best running back on the
Yeah,
team. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I would rather make that trade, but like, why Hopkins? Like, and even Hopkins said he was like, I had no relationship with that coach for how many years he was on that team,
Right.
because he wouldn't really care. All he had Hopkins. He only had Hopkins because he was pretty much the best receiver in the
Yes.
NFL. Other than like Larry Fitzgerald or like
Now he gets to play with Larry
exactly.
Fitzgerald.
Like now it's like
How
what's his
crazy
name?
is that, man?
It's like Will Fuller, and Hopkins, but like that Will Fuller is now Larry Fitzgerald, which is like
He's
all the way up here.
yeah. Will Fuller wishes he could be Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah, but like Larry Fitzgerald is way better.
Way better. You know, Jenna won tonight.
I know.
She has worked her butt off
To get libero, I know.
Yes, and now she's libero, and she's.
I mean, she didn't have to. I mean, well, yeah, she still had to work for it, but like,
But it's cool to see her put in the work and then get rewarded for it.
yeah,
right?
I mean, if her dumb coach would actually put her there for once, I mean,
Well, she's there now, and they're winning. They won again tonight.
exactly.
So, yeah,
Like,
I'm proud of Jenna.
how many saves has she gotten over the last 3 games
Yeah,
that she's played? Like,
she's been fantastic.
exactly.
Yep, fantastic. So,
Like, if there were stats for high school volleyball, Jenna would have probably the highest number of stats.
you think so? Like the
Libero
the most
saves,
digs and
digs, yeah.
saves. Yeah, you could be right. You could be right. You get your homework done?
I said I didn't have any.
Oh, that's right. You don't have any. It's kind of funny you don't have any. Why don't you have homework?
Okay, let me tell you right now, online school is enough for teachers too. Miss White told us today at the end of the day that she spent 4 hours just posting work, just posting it,
Oh, wow.
just trying to get the links. But now she has to do the questions too.
Man.
And then
They need all these kids to come back to school.
and then today, one of our assignments weren't working. It was like access denied. And she was mad. She was like, okay, let me tell you right now, I spent 4 hours getting this stuff ready for y'all. And when it just doesn't work, that kind of makes me mad.
Okay, I have a question. So you take your laptop to school.
Mhm.
Are you doing the work on your laptop like the kids are doing the work on their laptop at home? Or do you actually have like physical papers to do your work on?
It depends. I mean, so what we do in math, I'll tell you every subject, but like math, we usually first thing in the morning we do our warm up, which we can use our math notebooks to write in.
Okay.
And then, but that's usual stuff. Then we would type the answer or select the answer on our laptop. And then we would submit that. Then we would do practice on the sheet of paper on the computer. So we don't get the sheet of paper. We look at it on our computer, but do the questions in our notebook. And then we would figure out the answers on our notebook and we would go over them.
And then you would type them into the laptop
No.
or no?
No. Well, it's just practice. And plus we can't type or write on a PDF.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then in science is definitely we're drawing, and he gave us a sheet of paper. We're doing like a draw your map kind of thing. Which is pretty cool. Science is usually all laptop except for notes we have to do.
Right.
And then reading is mostly laptop. And then we have a book that we have to read and listen at the same time. And then do the questions on the laptop. So we're still kind of half and half with the laptop and paper, which I'm pretty cool. Like, I like that.
Right.
Rather than it just being all laptop like it was last year when we were all online for the rest of the year and we had to like draw on the laptop. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like any fun. Hey, Jenna, congratulations on your win tonight. You got dinner? We're fixing to wrap up here. We'll be out in 5 minutes. So it sounds like there's a lot of work still going on.
Yeah, there's still a lot going on. And I feel bad for Miss White, though, because she has to start off the day. 27 of her kids in her class are online. Only 4 are on campus in her class.
Wow. She only has 4 kids in her class?
In her class, yeah.
Oh,
she
my.
has the smallest class.
And how many are in your class? 12?
I have the second biggest. And there's 3 girls and then, so like 12 or 13, yeah.
And y'all are the second biggest class?
We are the second biggest class.
Can you imagine being one of those 4 kids?
Oh, yeah, I would hate that.
There's only like 3 other people
like,
in your
imagine
class?
seeing the same 3 people every day. Like,
so, I mean, it's got to change, right? After the new year?
I mean, yeah, like they're giving us 9 weeks. After those 9 weeks, everyone has to come back.
Oh, okay. Wait, so 9 weeks from now or 9 weeks from when school started?
9 weeks from when school started.
Okay, so y'all are almost there then.
Yeah, there's only like 3 weeks left.
Okay, cool.
So we'll take.
So you'll have Worm in your class again. Word.
I know, and Peyton.
And Peyton, that's awesome.
Everyone else.
Yeah. Cool. Prediction for tomorrow's Astros game? What do you think?
Honestly, I'm thinking the A's will try to hold off, but then we'll come back.
So who wins tomorrow? Do the Astros end it or do the A's extend it?
I feel like the A's would try their best to extend it, like bring out all the stops.
Right.
But like the Astros would too, because they would know that
they win and this series is over. They move on.
Yeah, so they would have to do the best too.
So what's going to happen?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a really close game.
Okay, but pick one. What are we doing here?
I don't know, bro. This is hard, but
All right, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to think about it, and then you'll pick one.
3 seconds to think about this?
Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Who wins?
I'm gonna say Astros, but it really depends on our pitchers. If they put like one of our trash rookies in, we're doomed. They're just gonna hit dingers.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna put a trash rookie in though, bro.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna.
I wish Verlander was playing. I wish Garrett Cole never left.
Me too. Me too. I wish Garrett Cole never left. Me too. Same here.
I think all of us wish that Garrett Cole.
So the Texans are 0-4. They have 12 games left. They fired Bill O'Brien. Mm-hmm. How many games do they win the rest of the season?
All 12.
All 12? If that happens, let me tell you something. That guy can never coach football ever again.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, no.
No, really. 12 games left. How many do they win the rest of the way? They got to play Jacksonville twice. They got to play Indianapolis twice. They got to play the Tennessee Titans twice. So that's 6 games.
So I feel like we would lose to the Titans.
Once or twice?
Both times.
Okay.
Because their offense.
Yeah. Their defense.
Those other 4 games, I think we would pull out. What are the other 6?
So
or the other 3 teams.
You have Jacksonville twice and the Colts twice. How many of those games do you win? You play them here and then you go there to play them.
What do you mean? We
play here, Jacksonville here Sunday, and then later on in the season we go to Jacksonville and play them at home. Same way with Indy, the Colts, and Phillip Rivers.
Okay, we're definitely beating the Colts.
Once or twice?
Both times.
Okay, so that's okay.
I mean, I already predicted us beating the Jaguars twice, but I think we're only going to beat them once this time.
Okay, so that's 3 wins. And then you have, who else do they have on the schedule?
That's 4 wins or 5 wins because I said both times on Indianapolis the first time. You said Jacksonville, Indy, Titans.
Right. We play them twice each.
Yeah, and I said both times they would win against Indy and Jacksonville.
Okay, so that's 4. Okay, I got you.
No, it's 5.
It's 4. Oh, because we're gonna beat Tennessee once.
Yes.
Gotcha. 5.
No.
Oh,
Oh no.
that was the headphones.
Oh.
We're good.
Yeah,
We're
4.
okay. I don't remember who they play the rest of the way. New England, I think.
Oh god.
Um,
That's gonna. Have you seen those videos of like Chase McSorley
no.
on the Ravens?
No, what did he do?
Oh, bro. So look, Lamar Jackson got injured, and so they put their backup quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Bro, this dude throws bombs. I mean, this dude threw dots all game long. And you would think, oh, this backup quarterback's trash. Nah. Perfect high pass on the left side of the field in the end zone, caught perfectly. And he didn't even have to tippy toe. Like this was the outline,
Uh-huh.
and then this was him. Like literally standing right here, and he didn't even have to tippy toe to touch in. Like that's how good the pass was.
Really?
And like there was one, he was at like the 20-yard line running forward, and he was at like the 40 on the other side of the field, and he threw it all the way to him.
And for a touchdown?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm like,
I don't know. I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. I'm interested to see who they're going to hire as their next coach. I'm interested to see how they're going to handle their personnel situation, their contract situations. You know, they don't have a first or second round pick next year in the draft. They're not picking until the 3rd round.
oof.
Yeah. So Miami gets our picks because of a trade we made with them. So if the Texans
What trade?
For Laramie Tunsil, the left tackle.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
So if they finish with the first overall pick of the draft, Miami gets it. We don't even get to make it.
True.
That kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's
It's
fired.
not like our team's bad enough already.
All right, let's get off. Let's go talk to Jenna. Jenna's home. We're going to go see how she's doing. Thanks for joining us. Go Astros tomorrow, right? Go
Yep.
Texans on Sunday and go KC Oilers this weekend,
Yep.
right?
I got so confused. I thought you were going to say the Royals. I was like, no.
All right, until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Why are you pointing at me?